Hi Aries, and welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. Welcome Aries. I'm very excited to walk with your energy this month. We have your season coming at the end of March. We have here in the Northern Hemisphere the spring equinox coming on, which I am so excited for. It's been a little bit of a tough winter in my neck of the woods. Quite dark, quite colder than usual, with a lot of like blizzards and winter weather and ice and like sickness going around and stuff. So I am just like so excited for the breath of spring that we have coming in here. Your reading this month, Aries, is going to be centered around this theme of breath of spring and the healing of your own perhaps respiratory system or your breath energy is going to really be starting to heal up here. So if you've had any like sicknesses relating to the chest, if you've perhaps even just had like anxiety or any kind of shortness of breath or any kind of situation where you notice your like breathing is kind of struggling a little bit, well, during March 2024, you're going to get the opportunity to heal that. Congratulations, you are up for a major expansion and healing this month. So we have Pluto going into the 2nd degree of Aquarius this month. That's the furthest it's gotten since the 1700s in Aquarius. So we're really going to be understanding a little bit more about what that energy means for you. That's also going to give a feeling of like having more air, having more power in the breath, and starting to grow stronger. And we also have a huge Pisces stellium forming up in your collective 12th house, which is going to be rewiring your unconscious a little bit, also rewiring your emotional perception and subtly changing a lot of your, I guess, just worldview or world perception through a sort of non-superficial way. So it's a lot of weight that you guys have in your collective 12th house this month. And I think that that requires a lot of trust and a lot of willingness to release a bit of heaviness that you're feeling, like perhaps trusting that a lull that you're having in your life will eventuate a future rise. Perhaps trusting that like a negative experience that you've been through may actually give you some type of knowledge or some type of fuel to accomplish that much more later. I'm feeling it's very important for you guys to employ these kinds of mindsets in March, because there could be a tendency to get like really obsessed with like what's right in front of you, or like as an Aries person, it tends to be kind of like a one foot in front of the other consciousness. But with this major 12th house focus for you guys, as well as the new Pluto energy, and then also having Uranus and Jupiter and Taurus, right? That's a lot of stuff surrounding you. That's like stuff in your collective 2nd house and your collective 12th house. So this is like perhaps adding a lot of contrast into your experience. You understand what's behind you and you understand what's in front of you. So all that you kind of have to understand now is who you are. Hi Taurus, and welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. Welcome back, Taurus. I hope that you are enjoying this build up to the spring equinox. I am loving it myself after having quite a rough winter here in my neck of the woods with colder temperatures than usual, more winter weather than usual, and quite a few little viruses going around as well. I'm like really excited for this breath of spring, getting closer to your time of the year in April. And I am thinking that you guys are also having a nice return to center this month. We have huge Pisces stelliums, if you saw in the March 2024 comprehensive astrology, which I think is going to really serve as fertilizer for a lot of the new ideas and new connecting points in your life. This is a month of fertility, growth, and mental stabilization as well as revitalization. We have Jupiter and Uranus coming closer together in your sign this month, which is such a wild card kind of transit. And all you can kind of do is accept the externalization of a lot of momentum of energy. So I think that it's so important to take more of a hands-off approach in March. Try to let some of the things in your life which you might have been worried or stressed about, try to let them just have their own natural outcomes. One of the most magical energy lines I've felt in 2024 is the reward or the magic of just allowing certain things which have been hard to have their own natural outcomes and momentum. There is a really strong fixed energy also in this month with Pluto being in Aquarius now, having Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. And this is creating a dynamic for Taurus where like your feeling of power or your feeling of groundedness is something that you're trying to perceive of and somewhat control. Whereas I feel that you actually just need to allow. I feel that through controlling things too much, you may actually limit some of your power, or you may limit some of your resources more by being too firm with certain things. Here is a really important month for decreasing the grasp, decreasing the firmness, and starting to ease your mind a little bit. I'm feeling the energy of like the Nine of Swords coming up for you guys, as the Uranus and Jupiter in your sign is like really putting a lot of energy into the mindset, also having Pluto in Aquarius as well. So there's a big potential for overthinking, which sometimes can express itself as a lack of faith. Okay, I've been seeing this so strongly since Saturn has been in Pisces as well. It's like the feeling that we need to resolve everything ourselves, the feeling that with our own two hands, we need to be the ones to figure something out, or we need to overcome, solve, or rise above something without necessarily relying on anyone else or any higher power. Hi Geminis, and welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. I hope you guys are feeling really nice. We have a very interesting Pisces season coming up for you all, fellow mutable sign of Pisces. Major stelliums in March, so this would be squaring whatever you have in Gemini. What a pivotal point of redirection I feel coming up for you all in this month ahead. I'm kind of feeling like you have a crossroads coming up in March. I feel like there has to be a commitment to one path or the other, or there's a need to further commit in some way. Now, this may not really come up until like we get into your season this year, where it's like very clear what the conditions of these commitments are, but I do feel that that's the main concept for you guys in March 2024 is changing up your commitments or reinforcing them. It could be an interesting time to renew vows. It could be an interesting time to sign new contracts or to negotiate better payments, okay, like negotiating a raise at your job, signing with a new company at a higher rate. I feel like there's an importance to like really assert your value here. I feel that March 2024 is starting you over in some way as well. So this could be like quitting a job or releasing from a certain workflow that you've been in for a long time. I'm feeling like the inherent energy of like the page in the tarot for you guys, like as everybody else is going through these major ending phase, Gemini is still actually accessing that super youthful energy. So I'm feeling like the energy of new jobs. I'm feeling the energy of new houses, new living situations, like everything's going to start to get new, especially after we come through the equinox. I believe it's the 19th of March this year. Pisces season for everybody is going to be kind of a restful, rejuvenating, washing away energy. Again, we've got 7 planets all together moving through the sign of Pisces this season. So everybody has something to release. Everybody has something to purify. Everybody has something that's weighing them down that they don't need anymore. Okay, what is that for you, Gemini? Because I'm seeing you coming out of the month of March as a much more light person. Okay, I mean, you're that way anyway, typically. But it's lightening even more. And I just keep getting this for all the signs that I'm reading for so far this month is like minimizing, lightening, making it easier, taking the load off, downsizing for some people. This is, however, different than the reduction message that I was getting in 2023. This is not the same. Now, this can definitely piggyback off of that, but this is not that kind of like deliberate or forceful choice to be like, I'm getting that out of my life, or I'm quitting that, or I'm stopping that. Maybe for some of you that could keep coming up in March, but this is different. This is like maybe at a very internal level, and it can become material, but it's very much more like states of being, conscious mindsets, things that we choose to look at instead, okay, that just lighten our energy. Hi Cancers, and welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the radiant month of March 2024. What an awesome month for you all during these major Pisces stellium that we're having throughout the entire month, composed of different planets. It'll be Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Neptune at different points in the month. You can check the comprehensive astrology video if you want more information on those transits going on. But yeah, all of the water signs are definitely up for some major focus in March. So I have already read for Pisces, but I still have to do Cancer and Scorpio. We are doing Cancer now, and what I'm feeling for you guys is that there's kind of like a major transcendence of what we used to think gain or loss was. So as you lose one thing, something else comes in like sevenfold. As you also gain something, there is a lot less to do elsewhere. Okay, so the main moral of this general time, Cancer, is like not getting too like caught up on it. Okay, like, okay, I've had a blessing come into my life. My business has done well, or I've had a financial gain, or I've had a new relationship form up in my life. Thank God this has happened. At the same time, I have to understand it means new commitments, and it means new sort of like boundaries in other places. And I have to be ready for that. You know, you can't have expansion without contraction. You know, if you look at history, whenever you have territorial expansion, you usually have some type of war or some type of civil conflict. So this is kind of like the nature of the earth plane, like stuff gains, but also comes with conflict. And then also stuff reduces or loses, but perhaps becomes less conflict and opens new doors to different opportunities. So the main thing, Cancer, for March is like stopping the emotional hardship or attachment to any gain or loss that you're currently experiencing in your life. This is kind of a monastic feeling to me. It's very spiritual. This is an interesting time for you guys to start reading more spiritual texts, perhaps going to religious ceremonies or studying religion, studying faith, because I feel like this is going to give you more than the material world right now. At the same time, the material world could be decently abundant for you guys. I am feeling like you are celebrating with people this month. I'm feeling also that you have more of a firm, like your feet are planted more firmly on the ground. You're able to see things better. But because of how firmly your feet are planted, I think this is from Saturn and Pisces, and then also Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus, sextile and trine to you. So good for Cancer. Because of how firmly you're planted, it can kind of feel restraining, or it can feel kind of like so sturdy that it can kind of like open up to stagnation. I'm seeing a lot of Cancer fourth house people battling stagnation here. And it's come from like so many blessings, like having so much legitimacy in a certain area in your life that you kind of have to be that king piece on the chessboard rather than, you know, the queen or the bishop or something. You know, it's less mobile, but it's kind of like the piece that everything is revolving around. And it's kind of like the make or break point of the whole entire set. So yeah, but like at the same time, the king piece in chess is like really boring, isn't it? It can't do anything very fancy. But at the same time, everything revolves around it. Hi Leos, and welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. We have a really pivotal month for you Leos. I'm feeling a very kind of like strong force of growth coming in for you guys this month. I'm feeling the energy of flashbacks. I'm feeling the energy of finally basically rehabilitating yourself through understanding your timeline in a different way. So we have a lot to talk about this month, Leos. We have a huge Pisces stellium. We have Pluto firmly on your axis now for the first time, getting into the second degree of Aquarius, at least first time since the 1700s. I don't think any of us can recollect that far back. But yeah, we're learning a lot about what Pluto on your axis opposite you means at this time. And it's kind of a challenging time to articulate and a time that's going to require a lot of changes, okay? So bear with me, Leos. I might be talking a little bit slowly today. I have been moving to get off caffeine myself. I'm not totally off of coffee, but I have been reducing it. So on one hand, the cogs in my brain are moving a little bit more slowly. On the other hand, I think it's also just being in a major Pisces stellium. Meaning like you can like really feel it, but sometimes it's hard to articulate, but we'll get through this together, okay? So I'm feeling like you kind of begin to click so many different elements of who you once were and how it relates to the current blessings that you have. Over the last few months, you could have been feeling burned out or depleted, over-energized, maybe over-caffeinated, which causes all of that by itself, regardless of how great any of your other life circumstances are. And what I feel for you basically is that now you have a time of kind of like getting it out of your system, like a washing away, hydration, maybe crying things out here in March. And you can kind of like see a major evolution that you've had in a different perspective this month. For example, you could be like remembering back to a previous job that you worked. Like say you're like burned out with your career, or you're burned out with what you repetitively have to do. Well, this March 2024 could have you remembering like how things used to be, or like what a previous job was like. And it like kind of then highlights like how blessed you are where you currently are, which then brings up this secondary question, which is kind of like, why am I so upset about a blessing, or why am I burned out with something that's such an elevation? Hi Virgos, and welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. We are getting back onto your axis here in Pisces season. I'm so excited to channel in some insights for you all because I'm quite curious myself about what the heck is going on here. This is a very kind of like mysterious, intriguing, kind of like unpredictable period of time, which for all of us astrologers, psychics, whatever it is that we are, therapists, that makes for some interesting content, doesn't it, when it's a totally unpredictable time? Yeah, it's basically totally unpredictable from now until about April. So hopefully you will keep your Patreon subscription. I'll be here talking about it and working my way through it. But that's a bit of humor for us all, is that is there any point in predicting the next few months? Probably not, but we can at least stand together in community and, you know, kind of talk about what we feel like could be happening anyway. So there's no way that any of the path in front of you could have ever been considered possible. There's way more alchemy going on in your life than you thought, Virgo. I'm actually feeling that for this whole section of the zodiac, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and Sag. I'm feeling like, especially Virgo and Libra, it's like total alchemical change. Some of you are having to put your eye on the previous story, or you're having to regress, or you're having to go back down to the root in order to more profoundly move forward. Some of you also have to take it much easier on yourself from this point forward. I'm seeing that things have been quite overstimulated for a lot of people. I've been having a lot of both Virgo and Pisces people in my life. I have a lot of both Virgo and Pisces people in my close circle, so this axis is always quite available to me. On both ends of it, I'm seeing too much busy work. I'm seeing too many things that are like on your plate. It's not even quite like 9 or 10 of Wands energy. It's more like, honestly, like 5 of Swords. Like people are kind of stealing your time here. Or even you are trying so hard to level up, or trying so hard to meet some type of result that you might be sacrificing too much here. So there's a rebalancing coming in March for the sign of Virgo when it comes to the time that you're spending working, the time that you're spending cooking, cleaning, tending to your house, considering new expansion, considering new growth as well. I feel like the current structure of that is going to change. For example, some of you could have been living on like a really tall apartment floor, and like just like the parking lot or just the stairs are like draining a lot of the energy for your house. So I'm seeing like this is a period of time where maybe we get out of the apartment living for some of us, if that's possible. Maybe we're getting out of the rent game, or at least the unfairly high rent game. Some of us are getting back onto the ground here. Some of us are also getting into more like rural areas or more separated places and commuting. Okay, there's something about like where you're living. I see like a major area focus coming in for you guys in the month of March. Physical locations are coming up. If they're not being totally changed here, the mental status, okay, is shifting to match that frequency. So this is a wonderful time, Virgo, for you to manifest. Hi Libras, and welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I am coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. Very excited to be on and talking to the Libras today, as these are some of my favorite kind of readings to do when we are looking at the month before a huge total solar eclipse in your axis, as well, of course, as having the nodal axis on your axis and building up to an equinox season. We have a life-changing build up happening for you guys between really the times of like March 25th and April 8th, 2024, especially getting into April. We're not quite there yet, but these are my favorite kind of readings to do, is when we're not quite there, but we sort of see that coming on. So something is over, Libras. There's something you don't have to do anymore. There's a type of like hardship that you are going to be very aware is leaving your life. This could be like healing from cancer, okay? This could be like healing an autoimmune disease. This could be finally being free, okay, from something really ugly. I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. That's what I'm feeling for you guys in March 2024. That's what I'm hearing. Finally, I'm free. So maybe this could actually be the next few months, because I feel that that is more of like an eclipse type of message. But that's kind of what's coming, Libras, and we don't sometimes even realize that we are prisoner until we're free. Okay, there are a lot of ways in this very complex 21st century sort of quantum reality that we can be sort of stuck or enchained or imprisoned, okay? Without actually, being in jail or without being sentenced to anything. So there are a lot of ways that this functions. This functions through the banking system. This functions through even just certain like areas, living in certain places, certain household dynamics, certain family dynamics, certain even business lines of business, lines of trade. Okay, these can all be very confining. The earth element to some degree does deal with confinement, and because of course the earth element does not move, right? Like a tree does not move in most cases. I mean, they can be transplanted, but if there's a beautiful oak tree that grows over a few hundred years, it stays in one place forever. Okay, so this is how the earth element works. It stays in one place. So there's something with this that you guys are like healing through, and this is kind of like a very heavy, like difficult thing for even me to talk about as like a fire, water dominant person. I'm all about moving around, right? Fire and water. But I feel, Libra, for you, also as the air element, it's kind of like regaining your movement and your mobility here. I encourage you to look around and see, in what ways am I free? In what ways have I been freed from things? And is there something coming in like April or even May of 2024 that's really going to open up my mobility more? Hi Scorpios, and welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I am coming on to talk to you about the month ahead, which is one of my favorite times of the year. Pisces season is always one of the most harmonious energies for Scorpio. I hope you guys are enjoying it and getting some time to recharge, rejuvenate, and enjoy a little bit of psychic activity, as is typical during Pisces for Scorpio. Now, this month we do have 7 planets altogether moving through Pisces. So I would say y'all's psychic radar is going to be off the charts. I think that this is a very karmic time for you all, and I think that you're healing a lot of very long-running conundrums here. We have a lot to talk about in this reading. So this is it, Scorpios. We have some things coming to an end here. We have some cycles of major energy burden leaving, okay? Congratulations. I'm clapping for you guys. So don't freak yourself out about any of the choices on your plate right now. If you have anything that's kind of like, oh my gosh, I have to move back to that place, or I have to start doing that again, and I'm kind of nervous about that. None of that is a penalty. None of that is a problem. All of that is basically your mind trying to impose structure onto a very vast spiritual life experience. So none of it's real. This is crazy. I wasn't expecting to say this, but basically none of what your mind is imposing on this current move that you're about to make, or on this current path that you're about to embark, none of that is real. It could be made real by you, and probably will be, but there are elements of this next path that you can't predict for. This is what I've been telling a lot of the signs for this month, is like, we might as well not even try to predict it. Here we are. It's my job, so I'm here doing it, and we're talking around it, but there's nothing we can really predict as we're moving up through March, and then one of the biggest eclipses in April, especially if you're on the North American continent, okay? Just a normal eclipse if you're elsewhere, but a major potent eclipse that has the center point on the middle of the North American continent. Yeah, we can't predict how that's going to change things, but change is coming. We need safety, we need resilience, and we need margin, okay? So if you're going with your mind here, Scorpio, and you're thinking it all through, and you're planning it all out, and you're putting budgets down, it's not the best, but it's responsible. So allow yourself that responsibility, allow yourself that commitment factor. I agree. If you were to look at all of the budgets, and you were to look at all of the plans that you've put together, yeah, I would make it as low as possible so that you have more opportunity. Things such as high rent, high taxes, high potency life experiences are very depleting for the future, but they're quite spectacular if you're really on the right path. Anyway, what I'm trying to say for March of 2024 is you have to really recognize, like, if the place that you're in, and if the cost of that physically, energetically, if that warrants the direction that all of that is taking. So anything that feels stagnated, anything that feels, you know, kind of like vacillating, I would lower that down a little bit and make that easier. I would cut my losses here. Hi Sagittarius, and welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. Welcome back, Sagittarius. I have some really interesting psychic feelings about your month ahead. I think we're going to have a little bit of tough love today from one Sagittarius to another. I'm a Scorpio sun, but I do have Venus, Mars, and Jupiter in Sagittarius. So yeah, we'll get into it today. So March, Pisces season, building up to a major total solar eclipse in April that will trine you, of course. We have a bunch of Pisces stelliums squaring you. Things are starting to reconfigure in your life, and there's going to be a need for more detachment. Not that Sagittarius really struggles that much with being super attached, reliant, or, I don't know, too stuck in a certain preconception, but there's something of that I feel coming up for you guys here. Something has been preconceived, something was getting a lot of manifestational energy into it, and maybe it's still not here, and many Sagittarians are kind of asking why, or how could I possibly have to like go back to that place? How could I possibly have to start doing that kind of work again? I thought I'd overcome some of this, and you have, okay? So it's interesting. There can definitely be a total overcoming, graduation, or completion that happens to you here, while at the same time you have to re-enter into a previous territory or work along a previous line, while also stepping into new territories energetically. So basically there's sort of a dose of realism coming in here that totally gives you a grander sense of intrigue in your life. It's like holding both of the polarities here this month. What I mean is basically you guys need to let yourself off the hook when it comes to any type of negative self-dialogue or personal pain with direction in your life, with purpose, with where you're at, with finances, whatever it is. And you need to allow these things that aren't just feeling perfect or aren't feeling like lottery, windfall, or fortune which Sagittarius is very connected to, you know, through optimism, through being ruled by Jupiter. It's like finding the next fortune, or, you know, gambling and winning and having certain like really good luck hits in life. Well, you guys have kind of been fighting for your lives, I feel, for the last few years, ever since Jupiter was in Capricorn. And we're getting to a point where you're out of that now. You have more ground under your feet. And now you're kind of using different tools and different mechanisms that give you way more leverage. But for some of you, it's kind of like only halfway there. So it kind of depends on the Sagittarius. I feel that some of you do still have a certain Rubicon to cross, basically. And then some of you have like actually come out the other side. So kind of like take a moment to assess here in March. Do I have all of the prerequisites for that goal? Hi Capricorns, and welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. What an awesome month we have coming up for you all, with a lot of long-running problems getting solved. I feel that this really powerful Pisces season that we have coming up with the stellium, 7 planets all together throughout the entire month, coming into sextile, whatever you have in Capricorn. There's going to be kind of a magic realist vibe to the energy, and a lot of long-running, impoverished feeling things are going to be worked out during this time. If you've had anything in your life that you just haven't been able to answer, if you have anything that has just been kind of like a lingering or looming problem, I feel that it's going to start working itself out here. There's a different way that people are viewing you now, and it feels kind of like people are taking a generous streak with you. So there can be more popularity starting to come up for you all in March. Now that Pluto has totally moved out of your sign almost for the last time, not quite, but it's getting the furthest away from Capricorn that it's been since it's been in your sign. There's a feeling of relief, and there's a feeling of getting a different story, getting a second chance for some Capricorns, and starting to heal things that were outworn for a long time. So the main point this month, Capricorn, is relief. The main point is feeling like something that was grinding your spirit is gone. So there's a lot of things disappearing here for you as well, and try to see the positive of this. Like, it could also be an easy month to feel bad about loss, or to feel like, you know, nothing remains in my life, or nothing stays. But a lot of the things going are really potent blessings to have gone. So certain problems being taken off your plate, certain people that you didn't even know were psychic vampires leaving your experience. Like, for example, if you have a breakup, or if you have like an estrangement, or if you have any kind of severing of relationship ties during this time, it's very likely that that person was actually a negative drain on your spirit, even if you didn't realize it. That's kind of the funny thing with like psychic vampires or narcissists. I mean, sometimes we can tell that that's what they are, but sometimes it takes reflection, and you don't even know that people are that sometimes until they're out of the experience, and you can like really tell the energy that you have and the health that you have, like, once they're not there. It's interesting how many people I've talked to who like got mystery illnesses, or had just like major depression or pain or confusion in their lives, and then some person that they didn't even realize was the problem like left their life, and all of a sudden they have like these miraculous healings, but it's like they didn't even realize that that was draining them in the way that it was. But they kind of, you know, you kind of do when you think about it. Hi Aquarius, and welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I'm so happy to be coming on and telling you guys about the awesome, wonderful, life-shifting month ahead of March 2024. We are looking at a total life-changing month ahead. I've got a nice bottle of water here, which you'll probably hear me drinking. I am working at the end of the month here, getting all these readings done, and there is a lot to talk about. Though I will also say March has been an interesting month to do readings on, because it is difficult to articulate and vocalize the energy coming up. I'm trying to do it a justice, but a lot of the territory that we're dealing with here, Aquarius, is basically out of the spoken territory. Okay, we are dealing with the gut instincts. We are dealing with the flashbacks. We are dealing with the mind at its conscious and unconscious level, kind of like negotiating with itself. We're dealing with dreams. We're dealing with purpose, ultimate cause, and the vision basically that we have of ourselves, our loved ones, and then also the material representations of those things, and then just the material projects and goals in our lives. Now that is a lot coming up, and what I've been recommending for many of the signs this month is to allow this major Pisces stellium, 7 planets going through that sign throughout the month, to wash away the parts that we know are no longer serving us, okay? That's a very simple way to put it, but this is a time like no other to quit, okay? To hand in the notice, to resign, to take that last moment with something. Final goodbyes are happening here. Also, final moments with like an addiction. This is basically the time. I'm seeing withdrawals for a lot of people in Pisces season. I'm seeing that there are certain sacred spaces also that we're needing to be in. So I'm seeing people being in religious spaces. I'm also seeing that people's houses are becoming more of a sacred spiritual space, or needing to. So maybe there's an interesting project that some of you could take on if you have extra time in March to make your house or your living space more amenable to you, as I'm feeling like a lot of these problems that I can like diagnose that the collective is having, like random addictions, overstimulation, media dependence, fear of being around people that are actually in your area. All of this is kind of tied back to perhaps some kind of inherent flaw in our living space, or in our connection to the space or the sacred space that we are spending a lot of our time in. So this is a wonderful month with Mercury, Saturn, also Venus going through Pisces as well. Mars will be going through. Of course, we have Neptune. I think that one of the positive ways to channel this is creating healthier physical spaces for ourselves. Air purifiers for some people, water purifiers, creating just a more truly sacred sanctuary-like space for yourself is going to be a wonderful way to channel the energy in March 2024. Hi Pisces, and welcome to your March 2024 forecast. I'm coming on here actually on February 21st. We have just gotten into Pisces season. That's the day that I'm filming this reading for you. Welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. I'm feeling really revitalized and joyful to be filming for you today, Pisces. I think that we have a lot to talk about, as I felt a major release of difficult energy knots happen right on the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces this year. Like, this is seriously like coming in last night and today. And I'm so joyful about that, because the energy that we've been going through over the last few months has been very difficult to articulate. It's been very tense, and there's been a lot of like squaring off and obstacles and energy knots. And we're moving up towards a March 2024 with intense Pisces stelliums for the entire month. As I'm talking, Pisces, I'm going to pull up some charts so I can give you some specifics on which planets you can expect. I think it's pretty much like all the planets in the solar system at some point in time, not quite. That's an exaggeration, but basically you're going to have like pretty much every single planet going through your sign this month. So look forward to that. And I don't feel it is a bad thing, though. I was kind of, as someone who has some Pisces placements in my own chart, I am a natal Saturn in Pisces. I have a Saturn return coming very soon here. So I have been kind of anticipating, I'm like, wow, all of that Pisces stellium alongside a Saturn return, what could that mean? And I was kind of, I'm not going to say I was worried about it, but like as I'm getting more into it, I'm feeling a lot more positive about the changes that are happening. I'm feeling a lot more positive about the kind of like homeostasis or state of being that is actually on the other side of this. So what I felt before, honestly, since like 2021 with the Saturn-Uranus squares, from about then until, honestly, February 2024, I felt like things were just very difficult to be easy. Like everything had to be harder than it had to be. Everything had to be complicated, beyond reason. Everything just had to be a challenge. And now we're going to see a lot of that get washed away. We're going to see some major purification coming in. And now that I have these charts here, throughout this month, we'll start the month with Saturn, Sun, Mercury, Neptune, and minor asteroid of Nessus in your sign. And throughout the month, also Mars and Venus will transit through as well. So altogether, we'll look at having Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Neptune, and the minor asteroid of Nessus go through Pisces. It's life-changing. It's absolutely a crossing point for you guys. And what I think it can be is a splendorous victory. I feel the victory, Pisces. I feel the victory coming through for you guys.